Don't Look Up might just be the best disaster movie ever made. Let's talk about why. Two low-level astronomers must go on a giant media tour to warn mankind of an approaching comet that will destroy the planet Earth. A star-studded cast including Meryl Streep, Leonardo Di Caprio, Jennifer Lawrence, Jonah Hill, Timothée Chalamet and Cate Blanchett, as well as many, many more. Don't Look Up, for me, was the surprise amazing movie of 2021, because for me it was one of the best movies I've watched this year. And I'm fully aware this movie's got a split opinion massively because it's got an element of politics to it. At least you could infer an element of politics from it. This movie is based on a fictional, made-up, end-of-the-world scenario which hits home a little hard. In this movie, a comet is coming to destroy the Earth. Two scientists discover it, and then they have various hurdles to jump over to convince the world that this threat is real. They get ridiculed in public. The president doesn't take them seriously at first. The media don't take them seriously. People don't take them seriously. And then slowly, when people start to realize this might be a thing, even then they have trouble convincing people. Even to the point of people arguing online whether the comet even exists, where the threat is real. Even to the hilarious point where the president herself tells her supporters not to look up. This comedy movie comes with a strong message that it's not necessarily a threat that we're facing, it's how we deal with that threat that is our real issue. Now, I don't want to get too political in this video because, you know, that's never going to go well. But what I will say about this movie, Don't Look Up, is that it's perhaps the best social commentary movie I've ever seen. This movie really holds up a mirror to society and asks the question, is this what we've become? A load of idiots who just bicker about everything. And ultimately the answer is yes. That's what we've become. We bicker about every stupid little thing, and ultimately it will be our downfall. In terms of the movie itself, there's certain issues with it, in my opinion. The first 30 minutes of the movie could have gone a little bit quicker. The pacing of the movie overall, I felt was pretty good, but there's a little bit at the start and a tiny bit at the end that could have been chopped off and made the movie sensational. The movie's got a good message. The storytelling throughout is pretty damn strong. I found myself at times really engaged in this movie, really glued to the screen to see what was going to happen next. The performances within the movie are pretty damn strong as well, and there's even one scene with Leonardo DiCaprio where he just breaks down in a news studio. He goes absolutely nuts because nobody's listening, they're not getting the message, and he just gives it everything. You can tell Leo put everything behind it in this scene. So much emotion. And these are the moments, the little scenes that will get you an Oscar nomination. However, one thing that did pop up in my mind is Wayne's World, where Wayne kind of takes the piss, or you know, Mike Myers takes the piss in that one in terms of putting in ridiculous over the top emotion, and it flashes up on screen, Oscar nominated scene and stuff like this.
I don't mind. Well, I mind. I mind big time. And you know what the worst part of all is? I never learned to read.
But this movie had some really strong moments, as I mentioned, scenes that have you glued to the screen in suspense. One in particular comes near the end, and I will put up a spoiler alert here because I want to talk a little bit about the ending, the good and the bad. So we get to the Bash mission where they're going to save the world. The rich guy's mission where he wants to mine stuff from the comet or the meteor and make money off of it and save the world in the process. Now, I was saying to myself when this scene popped up that the mission had to fail, because otherwise the movie's going to be pretty stupid. You can't have the rich guy come along, stop the mission from the scientists and say, hey, look, I'm going to do things my way and the rich people are going to win. You know, I was right all along, the scientists were wrong. That wouldn't work. It'd be kind of stupid. But they did a very good job within the movie. The filmmakers have done a very good job of keeping the suspense there of, is the mission going to work? Is it going to fail? At the launch, 4 rockets don't fire correctly. They're down a number of rockets. It looked like the mission has failed, but they continue on. They end up drilling into the meteor. It looks like they're going to be successful, but then something goes wrong. So it looks like they're going to fail. But then at the same time, the meteor begins to crack. We see fire and flames, and then it just cuts away. And it looks like the meteor might have been destroyed until we cut back to the control room, and after a couple of minutes of silence, the American president gets word that the meteor is still intact. Ultimately, they failed. But even then, you're left with the moment of, Well, what now? Are they just going to have a Hail Mary moment? Something ridiculous come along, a big robot comes along and punches the meteor out of the sky? I wouldn't have been surprised. Or is everybody just doomed? They also have the nice little moment that while all of this is going on, the scientists that have been warning everybody about what's going to happen if they don't take action, they already know there's no stopping it. They're just going around doing what they can, collecting all of their loved ones together for one final meal where they sit around a table, say what they're thankful for, and just be with the people they love as the inevitable happens. The ending of the movie, I feel, from a movie point of view, had potential to be spectacular and ultimately ended in failure, in my opinion. So the end comes, the family are around the table and the destruction is coming. The world slows down as we see each different person, and ultimately it cuts to black. And that's where I feel the movie should have ended completely. End of the world, end of the movie. Nice synchronicity right there. However, they cut to in the future, 2,000 years later or something like that, where all the rich people have gone off in this ship, which was mentioned previously in the movie, and they end up on this other planet. They get off the planet, the president is killed by this creature we've never seen or heard of before, but ultimately the rich people all get away, type of thing. Now they do kind of suggest that they're possibly about to be hunted down by all these bird things, but even having this thing of all the rich people getting away while everyone else was just killed years ago in this destruction they didn't listen to the people about, it's kind of stupid. It really waters down. It's a very stupid comedic moment, and even having all the stuff in space was a bit unnecessary. But then on top of that, you've got the post-credits scene where Jonah Hill climbs out of a bunker, I guess, and he's like live streaming, and it's all hilarious jokes. But I feel like those two scenes at the end really watered down what could have been a very poignant ending, as I mentioned, end of the world, end of the movie. I just feel that in the table scene, when it cuts to black, if they get the credits rolling up, no sound, no music, just stunned silence, that I think in the cinema, that's what you would have got. You would have got an audience stunned into silence, who ultimately, when they go to leave the theater, would be saying, wow, that movie was spectacular. But in the end, I think what you get is you get some people going, that was funny, and some people going, that was a bit weird way to end it. While the movie, in my opinion, is very well done, even from a filmmaking point of view, the storytelling was pretty damn strong, the acting was good, the visuals for the most part were good, bar a few continuity errors. I just think that the ending really lets the movie down overall. And what could have been one of the greatest movies of the year ends up being a good movie. But nonetheless, like I mentioned at the start, in my opinion, this movie, Don't Look Up, is the best disaster movie I've ever seen. On top of that, it's the best social commentary movie I've ever seen. And a movie that really holds up a mirror to society and asks the question, is this what we've become? Definitely got to be a divisive story, but for me personally, I still believe this is one of the best movies I've watched this year. Definitely the best Netflix movie I've watched this year, but ultimately it come down to a rating out of 10. And for me, as I mentioned, really enjoyed the movie. Even just from a filmmaking point of view, I thought it was fantastic. So for that reason, I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. If they didn't have those cheesy scenes at the end of the movie, it possibly could have been a 9 out of 10. But this is where I throw it over to you guys, because now I want to know all about Don't Look Up. Did you love it? Did you hate it? Let me know in the comment section below. But with all that being said and done, there's only one thing that's left to say. That's thank you so much for watching.